Do you like basketball? Basketball 농구? I like, but I'm not good at. Yes, I'm not.
Me too.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the State of the League podcast. It's Wednesday today, but we're wearing the same clothes that we were on Monday. We're just consistent like that. My name is Jack, aka Joestar. With me, as always, the world famous Pablo, and you're tuning into the only NBA podcast that has ever power scaled every NBA team. So we're taking feats. We're taking, when the Boston Celtics leveled a mountain with one pick and roll. Yeah, I'm going to be factoring that in when the only thing that the Milwaukee Bucks Damon Giannis action can compare to what they took down a skyscraper one time. They're barely above street level. It's embarrassing. Pablo, how you doing today?
I'm looking at a tweet from Asmongold from 4 hours ago.
From me, that's my evil twin.
If you were shot with a ray that made you only like being disgusting in every way, he tweeted before and after, and so he cleaned his sink. The before picture, I don't know if this is a joke or not. There's a literal spider in there. I don't know if you can.
No, I think that's real. I've seen that picture before.
This is crazy.
Yeah, he's disgusting. He's one of. Sorry,
that's before. That's after.
Mean, congratulations, dude. I'm glad it took everybody collectively calling you racist for you to clean your sink and figure out that, like, people in the Mideast aren't fucking subhuman. Like, holy shit, good job, man. Wow, woo, good job, Gold.
I love that it's like, guys, I got canceled for saying bad stuff about Palestinians. I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna clean my sink. I'm gonna clean my room. I'm gonna take a shower. I'm gonna brush my teeth. I'm gonna get the blood off my wall. Let's start changing.
Like, hey, man, whatever. Change.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I guess do the work. I hope, but yeah, good lord. I saw a funny clip from Hassan's stream. Did you see when Stav came on? And
yeah,
he was like, "There's a big fruit basket from Hamas outside."
It was that was they were so funny. I Felix Biederman is so funny.
Oh yeah, dude, he made a crazy guest appearance. I was watching this YouTube video. It's called maybe serial killing for fun and profit is the title, and it was like this guy. He made like a full-on documentary about the government covering up like a snuff film ring in the late 70s. And I'm only about halfway through, but Felix Biederman just popped up like to do like a full breakdown of like these couple documents or something. I can't remember exactly, but I was like, "Whoa, Felix, what are you doing here?"
And he's in every bizarre corner of the internet. I saw a clip of him from a podcast where they talk. It was called Quoraholics, where they were talking about like Quora stuff. Use best of Quora.
What is Quora?
The QUORA.
Oh, I thought you. Okay, yeah, no, yeah, I know what Quora is. Yeah, there's some weird shit on there.
Crazy.
All right.
One time there was a woman who I did a video where could Jesus pass the tuning exams, and then I did could Satan, and so I was trying to get Satan's feats, and there was this woman on Quora named Ashley who she wrote out like everything that the devil can do, and then at the end she included her email. She's like, email me if you have any questions.
Did you email her?
No, I should.
Damn, follow up. What were some of his feats? Was he strong? I mean, obviously, canonically, he's not stronger than God, I guess, but
it was a lot of OP stuff. Like, he can tell you to do things and you'll do them. Yeah, super strong, super smart, blah, blah, blah. Fire.
Yeah, fire. I mean, it's just, the problem is like with the tuning exams, like the world of Naruto gets outscaled fairly quickly, no?
It depends. I mean, by the end, it's basically just a mech anime. They have giant laser mechs and they're shooting lasers at each other.
I never seen it, but I did just watch the whole Mike guy unlocks 8 gates versus Madara on TikTok, and I was like, damn, this is sick. Oh my god. Um, but I'm in the middle of One Piece. I just got to the time skip, so Naruto. If I ever get there, you're a ways down the road.
It's worth watching. The last arc is a fall off, but I think it's worth watching.
Well, I liked a lot of it. I watched I mean, I don't remember any of it now. This was like in high school, but I watched it through the part where like Sasuke maybe gets kidnapped and they have to like go rescue him and stuff. Is that
Ooh. Yeah, and that's they start cooking right after that.
Yeah, I just remember maybe like like a fight on a bridge with like a guy who maybe was like a shark or something. I don't remember that much about it. But yeah, cool character design, cool enough powers. I'm down with it. But I have a lot of like shorter shows that I want to watch once I'm done with One Piece.
It used to be a lot more strategic with the fights, and like I think peak Naruto fights are still the best fights out of anything. But yeah, then they went away with it and they went to basics. It sucked.
Yeah, yeah, that's like the cool thing. It's like all the hand to hand and the strategy of it all. But if you're like, I don't know, some of the TikTok stuff I see, or like just power scaling shit in general, is like with this guy, you can't touch him. He could put you in an
Jojo.
infinite. You could put him in an infinite time loop. He could turn you inside out. He like I don't know all these insane like feats that. Okay, we're not going hand to hand so much anymore.
Well, you know One Punch Man, right?
Yeah.
He could beat people in one punch.
Yeah, well, I mean, shout out to One Punch Man. That's a fun show.
Hmm.
And he's fun in power scaling discussions as well.
He could beat up Goku. You know that.
Yeah, well, if the writer wanted him to.
He could beat up God in one punch.
In one punch, serious punch. That was
Could
low
he?
key hype.
Could he beat up the Celtics?
Are they your number one team?
Yeah, tier one.
Tier
Tier
one. All
one.
right, 7 minutes in, One Punch Man tier. The Celtics. Yeah, no brainer here. Very akin to we just recorded the Big Man episode, everybody. So we will be making references back to that most likely, or I will at least. Very similar to Jokic in the one spot there. It's just like, yeah, okay. What do you want to talk about with Boston?
What if there was a team that was the best offense in the league, but was also the best defense? What did they finish defensively? They weren't number one, right? Minnesota was number one.
Yeah, but they were close. I want to say they were 3, if I had to guess. Let me check this.
They
Yeah,
were they
3rd.
were right up there. They're just nuts. I'm a serial Jason Tatum cynic. He's still great. I'm a serial Jaylen Brown. Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I'm Jaylen Brown neutral.
Okay.
He's really good. Derek White, spectacular. Give me 14 of them. Drew Holiday, spectacular. Honestly, I'm a Drew Holiday skeptic too. But just the cacophony of all these guys on the same team. I was a Porzingis doubter too. That's crazy. I'm the hater that they're in the locker room talking about Joe Mazzulla. It's like the haters. They don't believe in us, and that's literally me. I'm like, I don't know. Is the Marcus Smart trade? Is Drew Holiday that much better than him? But
Yes.
I don't know. Robert Williams is pretty good. I don't know. I just wait
How
for
many
him to get
games are
healthy.
you even going to get out of Porzingis, you know?
He'll be healthy next year, Robert Williams.
Healthy Robert Williams? Oh, man. It's going to be a movie.
So yeah, they just have answers for everything. They have wings. Everyone on the roster can shoot, dribble, pass. Like Al Horford, Porzingis, White, Holiday, Brown, Tatum. Who have we not mentioned?
I mean, even Peyton Pritchard.
I'm a Peyton Pritchard doubter.
Yeah, but like in terms of like gimmicky bench guys, he's still one of the better ones.
They just waived Lonnie Walker. They don't even need him.
They don't even need him. OP.
They draft. Oh, they have Sam Hauser, one of the best pure catch and shoot guys in the league.
Cornette, one of the best 3-point contests in the league.
Yeah, the Eclipse. They drafted Baylor Shireman, who's one of the best shooters in this past year's draft. So there's really, when fully healthy, there's really no weakness in this team.
And Jordan Walsh is coming up as well.
Oh my god, if Jordan Walsh is making threes, oh my god.
Shit, it's over. Yeah. Every player, not just shoot, dribble, pass, defend. Everyone can. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. When they're healthy, and even when they're not healthy, they didn't need Porzingis. Like, and I know
They didn't need good Tatum scoring.
No, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. We're gonna stomp everybody. And I get that the matchups weren't good in the East. They were. I'm not gonna. We can drop this pretense of like immediately after the finals. There was two camps where it's like, well, they had to play who's in front of them, and then the other camp is like, well, they played bad people. The ring doesn't count, and everybody's a loser who was in either camp. Only me, the enlightened centrist, comes out of this unscathed. But now that we're removed from all that, we can drop the pretense of these being like good playoff opponents. The Pacers were pretty damn good, but like the version of the Celtics and the Heat that they saw, those aren't very good basketball teams. But even if they did play good teams, I have faith that they probably still come out on top with bad scoring Tatum and with no Porzingis. They are that good of a basketball team. There's just like so many steady presences on this team. Everybody feels extremely capable. There doesn't seem to be like a moment with them where somebody catches the ball in a spot that they're uncomfortable in and you end up with like a really clunky result. They just seem like a machine that generates wide open 3-pointers.
They're Chat GPT. They have the answers for everything. Give me a problem that would an NBA team would face in trying to win a game.
They their best player can't shoot the jump shots anymore.
We have a bunch of other guys who can make jumpers. Give me another.
Okay.
Well, say it in through the lens of what the other team is doing to you.
Okay, what the other team is doing.
What's the how are they scoring? What are they doing on defense?
Okay. Well, whenever Jaylen Brown gets the ball, they double him really hard because they don't think he can dribble because they look at a lot of Twitter.
Okay, so we're actually going to kick out to Jason Tatum. Now he's got one-on-one coverage, and then he could kick out to Drew Holiday, who can also dribble and drive, and he could kick out to Derek White, who can also dribble and drive and create. So, what's another problem?
Problem is when I'm trying to manufacture a problem that they're facing defensively, they never run into a problem defensively. Like, what would the problem be? Oh no, they screened my all defensive guard off of his matchup, and he got switched on to this guy who was like fourth off the all defense teams, and at the rim instead of my, like top 8 rim protecting big man, it's just Jason Tatum who like stepped in to be one of the like best help side rim protectors in the playoffs last year, and we didn't lose a beat. And he needs a break. Okay, well my 38-year-old Al Horford is playing like he's like 27. Like he's just 27's a bit much. He's playing like he's 32. How's that?
Oh no, the other team's rim protector shutting us down. All right, we'll just go 5 out. Pull them out of there. Oh no, the other team's perimeter defender shutting down our best scorer. We got 5 guys who could score. Oh no, the other team, they're letting us shoot. Well, we'll make every jump shot. Oh no, the other team's taking away our 3-pointers. We can make every drive. We can finish, we can pass. Oh no, they have a head coach who's a normal guy. We have a head coach who's a psycho. He'll kill him. So yeah, there's not a problem that the Celtics. Well, the only guy that the Celtics wouldn't have a solution for is Jokic. Well, actually, no, they would. They would just do what the Timberwolves did. They just let the other mid players take open shots.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. The Celtics are too small. The Timberwolves are all 10 feet tall. That's why it worked against Jokic. I promise. Jason Tatum help side isn't doing the same shit as Gobert. And Jason Tatum on Jokic. Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, put him into foul trouble. Sure, that's fine. That's fine.
Jason Tatum guarding Jokic in the post. Ruffles.
You hear? Damn, hold on. I wish I had some cellophane. I'd go. into the microphone because that's me opening my bag of potato chips. I'm Jokic, and I'm gonna eat all these. He probably has a special flavor, Tatum. He's probably got like honey barbecue or something.
He probably doesn't eat them.
Oh, absolutely not. But he lets Deuce eat them because he's a bad father.
Do you think he says that stuff will kill you?
Yeah, I think that's what Tatum says. He slaps potato chips out of Deuce's hands at the store. What's wrong with you? That'll kill you. All right, calm little. I mean, what else is there to say? They're incredible. I think they'll be one of the best teams in the league again, even though the Porzingis injury is a little scary. He's not supposed to be back until Thanksgiving at the earliest, and that could kind of snowball. It's like if his return doesn't go exactly as planned and he comes back later, or he gets hurt again separately later in the season, which is incredibly likely for a guy like him. Then I mean, if all that happens and they play good teams in the playoffs this year, then maybe we see a little bit more vulnerability. And we're not just like, this is the best team that's ever assembled. Oh my God, they make every three and they never let anyone score. Good job.
Well, pre-Thanksgiving basketball is not canon. So, what happened last year pre-Thanksgiving besides Cam Thomas's scoring streak? 5, 4,
Pre-Thanksgiving?
3,
I
2,
don't know. I have
1.
no idea. Are you looking for one example?
No, I'm saying it doesn't matter. that Porzingis.
None of it matters. Okay, so spring basketball definitely matters. They won like 1,000,000 games. Nothing ever mattered to them.
Yeah, if anyone was here for last year's State of the League podcast, every single Celtics update was, yeah, they won again. I would have, I guess they beat the Rockets. They beat everyone. They went 4-1.
They beat the Bucks. They beat the Thunder. They beat the Rockets. They beat the Knicks. They beat everybody. And then we got to the playoffs and we're like, oh, they beat the Heat. Oh my God, they're never gonna lose again. What? How could they possibly lose?
And then there was one moment where like, is Andrew Nemhard the Celtics killer?
Oh my God. So yeah, big question with Boston is just front court durability. That's really all it is. If you get huge Horford regression and Porzingis doesn't play again, then maybe we're starting to delve into mortal territory.
And you need your best player to play good.
Well, that's territory where you would need him to play good. If Porzingis plays the entire postseason, Tatum probably
he could be a good bad. that we can live with bad Tatum.
Yeah, he could just keep driving, and then oh shit, yeah, the guy that we brought back, yeah, he's like a volume shooter at the center position and like the best isolation scorer in basketball if you get him onto a mismatch.
Hey, if Jaden Springer ever starts making threes, watch out.
It's over. All right. I think I know who you have at number 2 as well. I'm gonna say I got OKC at 2. Who do you got?
The Chicago Bulls after the Josh Giddey addition. No, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the team that had the biggest come up in the NBA, the biggest heist in the world. They actually got rid of Josh Giddey, and they actually got a player who's good.
Whoa. They got rid of the best rebounding guard in basketball. Who'd they get back?
They actually got one of the best. They got a bald guy, so they actually traded a guy with lots of hair for a guy with bald. And
I like that.
And so a lot of people don't realize, but those don't actually correlate to basketball. Actually, being bald is better. Michael Jordan. So LeBron is balding too. So Kobe. So who's the best player ever with hair?
Tim Duncan had hair. Shaq was bald. Kareem had the afro for a while. Are we saying like has hair to this day?
No, they were playing. There's some rumors going around that Magic Johnson was bald by choice and not by necessity.
Oh, so maybe he started the wave.
I spread those rumors. You know what? And no one. I brought it up once, and they said I was crazy. I don't think when did his hairline go back?
Who,
I don't
Magic
know.
Johnson?
Yeah, and when I see his shaved head, I feel like it could be fine if he grew it out.
He could grow it. Grow it, you
I feel like he can. Could someone ask him? Let's just get on. If anyone has a connection to him.
Yeah, you used to be able to just go to a Lakers press conference and ask him, but now he's kind of hard to track down.
We could pay like $600 for a cameo.
Oh, nice.
Oh, if we're ever making $100,000 a month off this, we're gonna go crazy with the cameos for
Oh,
NBA players,
oh
and
my
it'll be a write off.
God. It'll be a write-off, and we can plug them into this. We can just have the cameo be them like saying our talking point for the podcast.
Dude, imagine if how much would we have to pay Larry Bird and Magic Johnson to recreate the New Jeans intro?
That would be so sick, dude. Probably a
Do
lot.
you like basketball?
Do you like?
Or how does Larry Bird sound? Do you like basketball?
Probably. Well, it's like a little more Kermity than that. I'm pretty sure. It's like a weird accent.
Yeah, he's from Hell on Earth, so Indiana.
Hey, they always make it look nice in TV shows. It looks like a nice, just chill farm area.
Parks and Rec was filmed in California. Don't let him trick you.
Hey, all right. So yeah, the Thunder have spent this entire offseason getting grouped in with the Celtics due to them having this massive talent upgrade at role player positions and two of their three best players being like what? How old is J-Dub? 23?
That sounds correct.
Well, I mean, regardless, being the age where if either or both of them took like a big step forward next season, nobody would be surprised. So yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Similarly to Boston again, their big man is hurt. Hartenstein broke his hand and will be reevaluated in 5 to 6 weeks. That puts his return at earliest late November. Different from Boston, the Thunder have a lot of guys who could take those young player leaps that I talked about. Obviously, J-Dub, obviously Chet. Kason Wallace, if you're on Nerd Sesh, he was like, is he even 21 yet? I feel like he turns 21 like right when the season starts.
If he is not there, he's right there.
Yeah, incredibly young, and he was really good. In games where he played 20 plus minutes last year, he was 9 points, three rebounds, 2 assists on 62% true shooting. That's 43 games. And then Isaiah Joe has also been one of the league's best shooters in not limited run, but it's not like they've given him like free reign to just fucking bomb threes or anything. And he's looked really good as well. He was 15th in 3-point attempts per 100 last season, and his 41.6 3-point percentage ranked third among those 15 players.
And then Aaron Wiggins saved basketball.
He'll do it again. He got fucking Scottie Pippen on his contract. His contract's like $250,000 a year.
And he's better than Josh Giddey, who thinks he's going to get, who wants 30. He's going to start the bidding at 30.
He's getting 40. I mean, think about the people he's negotiating with.
I saw a guy, I saw a middle-aged man on Twitter say, well, you don't want to lowball him. You don't want to risk ruining the relationship by lowballing him. So maybe just pay him. I want that guy to straight up. Wait, is this Patreon?
No, this is free.
Oh man.
Can you say it in code? What do you want? What do you want to happen? What if you were saying this on TikTok? Is he being unalived, perhaps?
You know that's not a real thing. Why do people do? And I saw on the H3 podcast a guy said that unalived. You know, I've made multiple videos where I literally the title of the video: should they murder Wemby? Should Bronny kill LeBron? my latest video, I talked about shooting people. I said Wemby could shoot Harrison Barnes. It's not. People need to realize it's not a thing.
Yeah. Well, how's that video doing? You know, maybe it got shadow banned.
The Bronny kill LeBron, that one is 700,000 views. Good.
Damn. All right. Yeah. So
Breaking news: a suburban woman has unalived her husband. Then you scroll. Should Bronny kill LeBron?
Bronny kill LeBron. Should Bronny, patricide his father?
I even said would LeBron jump off this bridge? Or I said, would LeBron commit suicide by jumping off this bridge?
Oh man. All right. Talk about the Thunder. Quit flexing your fucking. Oh, are you a TikToker? I didn't even know that. You're just yap. Wow.
You know, I saw on Twitter when this is like a week ago. when you tweet, oh, this is when Kenny Beecham happened, when we had the Kenny Beecham episode, someone replied in your Twitter that like that was their first time hearing your voice. I was like, oh crap, some people know you just from Twitter.
A guy did that to me in the metro like months ago. He was like, "I follow you on Twitter," and I was like, "What the what?"
Wait, how would he know what you look like then?
Well, my pinned tweet is me because Trey Murphy tweeted out the
Oh
Eric
yeah,
Jones, let me out. So yeah,
yeah, that's crazy. You're a combative guy on Twitter. You're in battles with people.
I like it. I'm for you know. You have no
I
love for the sport. You don't
I
have it.
can't handle it. I can't handle like literally. I'm when this guy says we should pay Josh Giddey, I can't have fun and fire back at him. I literally, to my core, I want him. I want something to happen to him.
All right. Talk about the Thunder. What do you think the Thunder are good? Jesus,
All
dude.
right, all right. They have a top 5 player in the NBA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. We've talked about him before. Hyper efficient in virtually every single way. A guy you can win a championship with. To complement him, they have Jalen Williams, better than Marcus Aldridge. A guy who also is hyper efficient in almost every single way. Wasn't that good in the playoffs, but so young,
Neither was
pretty reason.
Aldridge, you know?
No,
Don't check that.
he might have dropped 50 once or something.
Don't fact check that.
If you would get off the internet, get a life.
You fucking
the
loser. You watch basketball through numbers, calculator? Oh my god.
Two-way, another guy who could play really good defense and scoring super efficiently in every level. Reasonable to think he'll get better. Chet Holmgren, if Wemby wasn't here, we'd be freaking out. Stretch 5, elite rim protector, elite finisher. What's going on there? Case Wallace, like you said, next Drew Holiday. Aaron Wiggins, save basketball. Isaiah Joe, like you said, Kyle Korver. They drafted AJ Mitchell, driving kick master. Dylan Jones, the next Damian Lillard out of Weaver State. Isaiah Hardenstein. Who's the other big man? The other Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams.
And then
signing. Okay.
And then Caruso, genre-bending defensive player. So, what can't they do?
The question with them at this point, it feels similar to like when I was coping with the Celtics last year, and like they drew the Mavs matchup. Like me, 10 million IQ. You know, what's stopping the Mavs from just hanging around until clutch time? And then they're the better clutch team, and Boston, you know, they won't be able to handle that kind of stuff. And then it just they nuked them, and it didn't matter. Manufacturing a flaw for this Thunder team feels kind of similar. I think they'll be really, really, really good. And I think if you're looking for a place that they'll come up short, it will just be in a very traditional guy was not ready for the big moment type of way, where like Jalen Williams or Chet, those two specifically, I mean, they kind of regressed in this past postseason, and they're really young, and that's fine. That doesn't mean they're going to be bad in the playoffs forever. But if it happened again next year, that wouldn't surprise me. Like at the absolute highest levels of basketball, experience matters a lot. And so to be in those spots and be pretty much completely inexperienced, wouldn't it surprise me if like some funky coverages or defenses treating them some particular way that they've never seen before really fucked with one of those guys' games. But I mean, even that still is like maybe that will happen. Who knows? Maybe the Celtics won't. Maybe the Celtics will shoot 25% from 3 one game. And the Celtics still continually find ways to win those games even. So like the Thunder could do the same thing, it feels like.
The weakness was Josh Giddey, like Mark Dagnall's undying loyalty to Josh Giddey. It's like the reporters after every game would be like, "You guys are really bad when he's in. He can't shoot. He's not doing anything. Why do you still play him?" He's like, "Come on, he's my friend. Come on."
Like Monty Williams. It's the Monty Williams Killian Hayes connection on a team that could have won 60 games.
Come on, he's my friend. He's my friend. Come on.
Talk about him like that. Jeez, what's your problem?
The only downside for either of these teams is they have all the answers on the roster. The only way they don't win is if people underperform or get hurt. So that's a good place to be in. I hope they both go crazy. I hope they both win like 70 games and they just steamroll to the finals, and then we get to see peak basketball versus peak basketball. Oh, what a dream!
I think that would probably be good for the aura of the league, you think? Because there's a lot of talk right now about like the last several finals have not been that fun. And I
I
mean,
think it's a presentation issue.
yeah, that feels like part of it. But like, I don't know. If you dressed up the Mavs Celtics series, the Mavs still get stomped. It's just more fun beforehand. So maybe like kind of mid playoffs, but then the finals are just great. It's Gojo Sukuna. Maybe that could be good.
Could be the move.
And the Celtics are Sukuna, definitely. They're all bathing in death and decay right now, becoming more evil right before the season starts. That does seem like some Joe Mazzulla shit, low key.
Well, Gojo is more perfect than both these teams.
Shea, they're both so handsome. I'm seeing a lot of parallels.
Nope. Shea, no, he's not
Well,
perfect.
it's 'cause Shea like drives into the paint, and defenders are like, I'm gonna check him. I'm gonna check him, and then they reach out. They never seem to touch him.
Well,
What's that all
see,
about?
the thing about Gojo, he's the equivalent of being the smartest player in the league and the most athletic player and the most skilled player. So
Oh my god.
it'd be like if Jokic had a six pack.
Whoa, you don't know. He does take his shirt off. Damn.
I've seen him shirtless. He's because he's got belly button real estate.
Cool. All right. So the Thunder, number 2. Who do you got number 3?
And so those two are tier 1 by themselves.
Yeah.
They're S tier. They're galaxy destruction.
Galaxy level. There we go.
Yeah. Do you support universal healthcare? No, I support galaxy level healthcare.
Yeah, get the aliens.
Tier 2. I don't know who a definitive. Do you have a definitive number 3 team?
No.
They're like, yeah, these are these guys.
If I think the Wolves would have been it for me. But now since there's all these question marks, like I need to see stuff happen with like the next 4 teams to figure out how I really feel about all of them.
Yeah, I'd say probably. So the Sixers were, before Joel Embiid got hurt, they were up there. They were like top 3 defense and offense. Like they were statistically hanging with the Celtics and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you think, how confident are you in the Sixers?
Oh, I'm not confident in the Sixers at all. They're down my list a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, because part of this boils down to the fact that you're Paul George pilled and I'm not.
Yeah.
And so we take Embiid, can't stay healthy, not playing back to backs anymore. It would be not a miracle, but close to it if he did a full playoff run. Like that's just how it feels at this point. Like if even if he like made it to the conference finals and like then he got hurt, like if he avoided injury for 2 rounds, that would be like unprecedented. You take that, then you add in the extra variable of Paul George's health, which has not been good. It's a track record that's very up and down, and his level of play in the postseason is up and down as well. Honestly, I don't love, like I think he'll be a great catch and shoot player. I think he'll be like a cool, tough shot guy, but for like being a major piece that the Sixers are really going to lean on in the minutes when Embiid is sitting. Like it's going to be him and Maxey, and they're going to be like, dude, we have to win these minutes this time around. Like we need to be able to buy Embiid rest, both in terms of like games he doesn't play and in just like big playoff games. He has to be able to sit 10 minutes, and we don't give up a 15-0 run every time he sits down. There are going to be nights where Paul George is not good in those scenarios where like he just can't, the tough shots are not falling, and like his self creation, his ability to get to the rim, it's really compromised at this point. So those two health-wise, I don't have a ton of faith in. And then even if you do get them like healthy the whole run, I'm not super confident in them playing. Embiid, I'm fine with, but like Paul George being that big of a role, I don't know if that's gonna like beat the Celtics or something.
Well, do you think Jared McCain is going to come back from his contusions? What is his injury?
Who contused him? I'm unaware of this.
He had a bizarre injury. He had a crazy injury. They said to throw this into the Hall of Fame with it really is crazy the Sixers draft picks injuries. Like Markelle Fultz forgets how to shoot partly because of thoracic outlet syndrome. Zaire Smith almost dies from a sesame oil allergy. And now Jared McCain is falling and is having some kind of contusions, like trouble
Holy
breathing.
shit.
It
Yeah,
was,
it's pulmonary contusions,
yeah.
bruising in the lungs. Apparently so the fall occurred with 4 minutes remaining in Philadelphia's preseason win over the Brooklyn Nets.
Slammed his head.
Yeah, damn. Crashed to the floor in an extremely compromised position. What did he avoid doing? Maybe like a collapsed lung or something? That's insane. Yeah, I had not heard this.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, assuming health, which is not something you can reasonably do. You couldn't get insurance. So it like assuming health is like getting uh hurricane insurance for your beachfront property in Florida. It's rough. Joel Embiid, I think yeah, if like when healthy, but yeah, it's just hard. It's just hard because they're never healthy. But if they were able to miraculously keep this group mildly healthy, like performing, I think you just got to judge Paul George on like a Tobias Harris scale. Like, how much do you think it could be better than Tobias Harris was for them?
I think he'll be way better. I think Philly fans will be surprised how bad off night Paul George looks though. Like Paul George when he's like missing his shots, it's better. It's better than Tobias Harris. I don't want to draw that comparison. Like Tobias Harris, one of the worst NBA players I've ever seen like a team actively rely on last year, but like if you're trying to win a championship, then the lows of Paul George are going to hurt you. They are going to compromise you in a pretty tough way. But like if you're just doing the Tobias Harris thing, he's better. He's much better.
And so we got to think like when Embiid went out, this team was mid and they sucked. Like they immediately went from top of the standings, number 3 offense, number 3 defense to just bad.
Yeah.
And so Embiid has that much power. Then we're adding in Maxey, who presumably will be better or like as good as the last time we saw him in the playoffs. Then we're upgrading with Paul George, and then the entirety of the roster is stronger this year, right? With
Yeah.
like
It's just
Andre Drummond and stuff like that.
yeah. They're starting Eric Gordon. That's what it looks like. That feels weird to me.
That's so funny. So I think the just the pure star power of Embiid and the idea that the last playoff action we saw, he was good. And what injuries did the Bell's palsy is like a freak thing. That's another crazy Sixers injury. What else happened to him in the playoffs? Was there?
I believe he like re-aggravated the knee, if I had to guess. Like the turnaround with his knee was crazy. I remember like the big media moment was him walking up the ramp in Madison Square Garden and people were like, holy shit, like he could barely move. This is insane. And obviously when he got warmed up and was on the floor, he looked a little bit better. But yeah, his like whatever he came back from, torn MCL, or I can't remember. I remember he opted to have the surgery that allows you to come back sooner, but ages you worse. It ages you more rapidly. And yeah, to me that's not a freak injury. Even though the way that Kuminga landed on his leg was a freak injury, at this point, like him having lower body soft tissue injuries. It's not that surprising to me, and it'll probably continue to happen.
Yeah. So, well, with him walking into the stadium, though, we got to remember all basketball players walk like that. They like even a high school kid who's on the bench, he's walking like he's geriatric 80-year-old. Um, but yeah, I just feel optimistic about this Sixers team. It maybe 1 month in, it'll take for those hopes to be dashed. But
Who knows? I think
Embiid,
it'll be longer than that. I think they'll look good in the regular season.
yeah, hopefully Embiid doesn't get hurt in every other game because he's playing every other game or whatever. He's not playing back to backs. Paul George not playing back to backs. Just got to make it to the playoffs, and then I think this team could be really, really good just by virtue of having him on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they played the Celtics round 1, that would be cool. I would like to see it. Because like especially if Porzingis isn't there, it'll be crazy. Then we'll really get Embiid versus Horford minutes. But even if Porzingis is there, it's not like he can guard Embiid, and so I think it would be a cool matchup, and that's like the one shot. If you truly think that Philly has like a chance to beat Boston, it would either be in the first round or it would be the fucking in the conference finals, most likely. So
Yeah, I don't really believe that. But when I think about like, do you think let's say healthy Sixers got into a series with like Dallas, do you think they could win?
yeah.
So I think they're that level of talent team, like that second tier.
That's fair. It's just like healthy Sixers to me. It's healthy Kawhi at this point.
Well, he's out indefinitely, so it could be tomorrow.
Well, you said that You said that
Yeah.
on the Patreon, and that was like days ago, and we haven't heard anything.
Well, so what they actually said was an indefinite timeline. So I said it could be tomorrow, and it didn't happen that day, but it could be tomorrow because it's indefinite. So it's actually not like set to a strict timeline. So it could be tomorrow, the next day, and if it's not that day, it could be the day after that,
Okay, all right.
and then maybe the day after that.
Hey, next year. Well, this year's the year, but if it's not this year, next year, Sixers will be healthy.
Yeah, but it could be, but indefinite. So tomorrow, I bet out tomorrow. I bet tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So Sixers, was the Sixers the team you were thinking out, or you were thinking about when you're like right outside that first tier, or is that just kind of where you landed?
I just have a bunch of teams in tier 2.
I mean, same. Are they ranked for you in any way?
Oh no.
Okay. So the team that came to mind for me is Dallas. I think there's like high upside, but the floor could be pretty gnarly with Klay Thompson. But they are just coming off the finals, and I think they did get better overall. I think Najee and Klay are probably better individual players than Derrick Jones Jr. So what do you think about them?
Yeah, I think there's reason to be optimistic for them. Not necessarily optimistic. Not a whole lot of optimism that they could beat either one of the Celtics or Thunder. Well, wait, did they beat OKC last year? Who beat OKC?
Yeah, they did.
They beat them. So maybe I'm underestimating them. But Alex Caruso is actually going to shut down Luka. So that's what's going to happen.
Well, that was that was the series where Giddey gets benched. So they get like this head start where it's like, okay, maybe it takes fucking OKC's head coach 2 games to be like, damn, okay, he can't play. We got to get him out of there. And by that point, yeah, that's tough.
So yeah, Luka's just a supernova. Same team running it back a little bit better. So yeah, obviously they're up there. They're up there.
Yeah, Luka's insane. Kyrie's insane. Kyrie in the playoffs, about what I expected, where we had these really cool moments. The Minnesota series, he felt unstoppable. But then the OKC series, alternatively, they put pressure on him and he did not play effectively, at least score effectively. He was still getting a ton of gravity. And then the Boston series, fucking nightmare. I don't know if that is just because of like his history with Boston, or because he was going against Drew Holiday and Derek White, or what. But it was, I mean, you can't have that from your second best player if you're trying to win a playoff series. So if that happens again, they're fucked. But at this point, there's not really anything they can do. Derek Lively, have you seen anything about him in the preseason?
I saw him go coast to coast once. Did he make a three?
I don't know about the threes. He's been taking that damn floater, dude. Floaters and touch shots. Oh, he's been looking pretty good with them.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's fun. I think that would be like if you could get him to hit the Hartenstein shot, that would be an interesting wrinkle in an offense that I already expect to be really, really good. Like if Clay, who has been ass in the preseason so far, if he's still Clay Thompson as far as shooting the basketball goes, I think their offensive floor is really high. But I think him being like your go-to wing defender in your starting lineup while you're also playing Kyrie and Luka, who Kyrie like neutral, but Luka bad probably. It's just a tough lineup, even if you have Lively and PJ as the back line.
Yeah, if they could get any of these guys into consistent scoring threats, then we could maybe change things. Like if PJ just full season of continuity with the Mavericks is just like knockdown shooter. And who did he explode against? Was that against Minnesota
That was
from
against
three?
the Thunder, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so honestly, Luca with shooters is unstoppable. So Luca with shooters and defense is unstoppable. So it would really, I suppose there is a ceiling for this team to like compete with the Thunder and Celtics, but it would just take Derek Lively is able to punish Jason Tatum in the post. PJ Washington hitting every open three. Clay has to hit threes. Najee Marshall has to hit threes. Everyone's got to be able to hit threes when the defenses collapse on Luka. So, and
Yeah.
they all have to be locked in defensively.
And PJ would probably, it's not enough just to have the corner three in your bag. Like he has to be like a legitimate shooter. Cuz Boston, even with Clay on the roster, could probably still find a way to take away that corner three. And that's really tough for him offensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like him in this tier, definitely. I think the ceiling is crazy. And Luca is crazy. And I think he'll be on a bit of a revenge tour. All right, Colin 47. Damn, we've only got 4 teams. Holy shit! All right, we got maybe once we get to the bad teams, we'll fly through them. I have the Minnesota Timberwolves next.
Yeah, they're in this tier. Great, still a great defensive team. Just a little lower on the offense with the Towns Randall swap.
Yeah, I wrote down best defense plus best bench plus another year of Anthony Edwards progression. What does that make? Hopefully, a really good team. I'm not sure. I think the fit. So the removal of Karl Anthony Towns, and then swapping in DiVincenzo and Randall, I think your offense gets more complex. Like there are more issues to solve for the defense. It just becomes like, would you rather have these smaller, easier to fix issues, but you have more of them, or would you rather have it all condensed into one like legitimately great offensive second option in Karl Anthony Towns? Which one of those is better? I don't know. I think DiVincenzo specifically add like just a nuclear shooting option that Towns wasn't. I mean, Towns is like a great spacer, great shooting big, and that like having to guard your center out there changes the floor a lot. But just the way DiVincenzo is like an automatic basket from out there when defenses collapse on Randall or Anthony Edwards. I'm excited to see that. I want to see how that changes what Anthony Edwards is able to do.
Is he that well? He was really hot for them in the playoffs, but is he does he have a consistent track record of being that knocked down?
DiVincenzo, I mean, like, okay, let me pull this up. So last year, legitimately the second best shooter in the league the entire season, I would say. If you want to go before that, so 2021 in Milwaukee, he's 38% on 5 attempts. 2022, he gets traded from Milwaukee to Sacramento. He's 34%, but he has a dog shit start in Milwaukee. So in Sacramento that year, he's 37% on 6 attempts. In Golden State in 2023, he's 40% on 5.3 attempts. And then this year in New York, he's 40.1% on 8.7 attempts. Yeah, I have faith that he's like I don't know. Like, is that just how often do you see guys have a shooting year of that caliber and then just like never touch those heights again?
He Yeah, he's been cooking for a while. I just don't necessarily think of him as like I don't think of him as like a defense bending movement type shooter. You know, like Corey Kispert. That's not the best that's not the best example. Who's like the who's the modern JJ Redick?
Oh my god. I mean, Clay is kind of like that. Like, if you could
Yes,
isolate
yes.
Clay away from Steph Curry and all the shit that he's doing, he would still affect the defense a ton with his movement.
Yeah. So I think DiVincenzo's good, but um yeah, I suppose Rob Dillingham has the chance to be a really good off-ball shooter as well. But
Yeah.
I just don't like. I think
I think you're
it's
letting the Randall hate affect how you feel about DiVincenzo. That's the vibes
it's
I'm getting.
possible.
It's
It's
bleeding in.
possible. Well, I just feel like if he's been that guy for that long, he wouldn't have escaped those previous stops. Like, what? Who did the Warriors let him go for?
He might have just signed in New York. Let me see. DiVincenzo. Yeah, real quick.
But yeah, so overall, I think the Timberwolves could run into issues. I think Towns' spacing is really important for them in the regular season. And in the playoffs when it's working. And then I do think I'm just worried that the offense will be clunky overall with Randall and Edwards kind of like trying to figure out that timeshare. And then yeah, I'm just and then Rob, I have concerns about long-term viability for this season, but maybe he'll surprise me. So
Yeah. I will say, okay, so with the DiVincenzo thing, I couldn't find like when he signed or what specifically Golden State was thinking. If you tell Golden State the year after they win the championship, okay, well, we have like a high level 3-point shooting guard. It's not really what they need. Like, that's not what they're prioritizing in terms of like building a team around Steph, Clay, and Draymond. It's cool, it's nice, but like if you're thinking about it from their perspective back then, uh you probably don't need more 3-point shooting. And in that scenario specifically, he is also probably not getting the volume of 3-point looks he did in New York. And part of that's because he hadn't proven he could do that. And it took like special situation in New York for him for that opportunity to open up. But yeah, like Golden State letting him walk, that doesn't shock me that much. And that's not going to stop me from believing he's like that level of 3-point shooter. With as far as like clunky offense goes, I'm a little nervous, but the offense was already clunky. And so like I don't know, unless it's just unlivable, like a fucking nightmare offensively, I don't know if I feel that much worse about them. I'm more concerned like you lose the fact that you had all this size and you were specifically built to beat Jokic, and it doesn't feel like you took that big of a step forward in terms of making yourself like more versatile and more able to handle like the Dallases, the OKCs of your conference in exchange for being worse at guarding Denver. It just feels like you got a guy in Randall who could like help take the on ball stuff off of Anthony Edwards' shoulders a little bit.
yeah, so So basically, going into last season, Denver was the main character. Everyone was like, "How are we going to stop Denver?" I don't think they did it specifically. People always say they were built to beat Denver. I don't think it was like a master plan specifically to beat Denver, but the plan was have two bigs so that Towns can guard the big man down low, and then Gobert can like roam and help. And
Mhm.
so that worked against Denver to an extent. Well, actually, it didn't even. It worked in terms of like Towns was better at not being pushed around, but still Jokic killed them. So it really was the other
It's
guys
just
that.
like MPJ and KCP could not hit a fucking shot in that series. And so that approach is like, okay, we'll live with the threes, and living with two guys shooting fucking 20% over a 5 game span. Yeah. Knock yourself out.
And so like if they had Randall in that series, like defensively, it doesn't. I don't know how much of a difference that make. Well, maybe if Jokic really is just bullying Gobert the entire time, and because I don't know if maybe you could try Randall on it. No, he's probably too small. So maybe it
Like
just makes.
It's like the Rui with AD roaming that the Lakers figured out at the end of that one game.
So maybe changes, but like ultimately, I think, and then the issue that Minnesota ran into against the Mavs is that their offense fell off, right? Like Anthony Edwards just was
Mhm.
having stinkers and stuff like that.
And so was
So
Cat, to be fair. Cat was
yeah,
really bad in that series.
um, so I suppose they got more. DiVincenzo and Dillingham, if he works in the playoffs, will make it easier to survive those stinker nights. And then defensively, maybe not too much different. I don't know. I'm low on the Wolves, but I was low on them last year too. So
Yeah.
Wolves fans, my opinions are not canon.
And the bench will be sick. The question is just kind of like, in the playoffs, most teams tend to tighten up rotations a little bit. But if you have the best bench in the league, maybe you don't need to tighten it up as much. Maybe you can roll those guys out and fucking steamroll the backups of the other team, even if they're staggered with starters, and that will kind of make up ground for your starting lineup being a little bit less than ideal. I could definitely see them succeeding in that way, but that's why we're in this question mark territory with Dallas and how Clay is going to perform and a couple of other teams here. It's just I don't have an answer for it yet.
Do you think the Knicks are in this tier?
I think yeah, I have them down here because it's the same shit where it's like, okay, you have Carl Anthony Towns instead of Julius Randle, and you just lost this guy who was this nuclear shooting threat for you. If you want to be positive about that, you say, okay, we traded high on this guy. This is the most valuable he's ever been, maybe the most valuable he's ever be or he will ever be. But if you want to be negative about it, Carl Anthony Towns is going to cost $60 million at some point, and we just saw him directly contribute to the end of his team's season in that Dallas series.
Yeah, they feel like a lower end OKC Celtics where they just have a bunch of different good options. But just the high end talent isn't quite there. But yeah, Jalen Brunson is new age Allen Iverson. They got wings. They got Bridge. Well, Bridges. We got to be concerned about the jumper. I don't know why he did this. It's
Yeah, dude.
he must have thought he was getting traded to the Sixers. The If he can't shoot, that's a huge issue. So they got to figure that out. But they'll have one of the best defensive tandems with him and OG. And they got heart. They got dudes. So
Yeah. I think so. It feels like they're almost built. I mean, you don't want to like. I agree with you that saying a team is built to beat a specific team is probably like an oversimplification, but it feels like they match up better with Boston at least now with like all the wings that they have and everything. I'm concerned about Carl Anthony Towns as a defensive anchor. I think just like the fact that him and Gobert got it to work, people are willing to just like seed him as like a livable defender at the rim now. And I don't think he'll be like horrific or anything, but if the Knicks want to be one of the best defenses in the league, if they're expecting him to be like even most of what Hartenstein was defensively, I think they'll probably be disappointed by that. And yeah, I don't know. It feels like when we talk about Boston or OKC, everybody being able to dribble, pass, shoot, and defend. Everybody should be able to shoot or defend in New York, but dribbling and passing, I'm a little bit more concerned about. Like, it's not like OG or even Mikal Bridges is like a spectacular off the dribble creator. Mikal can do his own thing, create his own shot a little bit, and they're both fine from like a standstill connective passing point. But like if Brunson ever has like an off shooting night and a team manages to guard Cat well and the offensive responsibility kind of trickles down to these guys, to be fair, that's a situation you would expect most teams to fail in, but I would also expect I don't think New York's options at that point would look very good.
Yeah. And now that I'm looking over this roster, maybe depth should be a concern. Mitchell Robinson is out for the year, right?
No, he's not out for the year. He's just out for like a scary amount of time. It was what was his injury timeline? I want to say like it was supposed to be December and it maybe got moved to like March or something. Mitchell Robinson injury.
But yeah, they would need him. Deuce McBride off the bench is great. I'm super high on him. And then they have Precious Achua who can play, and then but the rest of these guys, I don't know who's real.
Campaign?
Oh, like I'm not a Tyler Kolek believer. Is Chuma Okiki? I wonder if he'll be real. Probably not. I don't know. So yeah, maybe depth might be something that they have to address.
Yeah, and that sucks because you're kind of going from this idea. I mean, they were never super deep because they kept sustaining injuries and the guys who were filling in just played well. But you're going from this idea of like, okay, when OG's back and Randall's back and everybody's good to go, then we'll have like four guys off the bench who could be starters when you're looking at like Hart and DiVincenzo and whichever center is the backup. But now you have like seven guys maybe that I believe in. And it's not like I didn't feel like any of their injuries last year were like super fluky. It felt to me more like this is just a roster full of guys who might not be the most durable. I don't think of OG as an incredibly durable player. Brunson's play style, his hand injury in that Indiana game, that's not like terrifying, but just like a small guard who scores off 2 feet in the paint all the time, you know, a big injury to that would be really scary. And so yeah, depth, durability, and just the overall fit with everything I'm a little bit concerned about. And everything I talked about with Cat in the centers episode, where it's like, if this is a team that's trying to win a championship, this is one of the most volatile playoff players in like today's NBA. I don't know anybody who has reached like the highs and the lows that Karl Anthony Towns has.
Like the only comparable thing is high school football.
Yeah, what is that from?
Riverdale.
Oh my God, you've never experienced the dramatic highs and lows of high school football. Shout out to Riverdale, man. Insane show.
We didn't mention the Nuggets yet, did we?
No, not yet, but I have them in this tier.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Can they not let Jokic down? How far they go will depend on how much Jokic is let down.
That's a good way to put it, actually. Let me timestamp this bitch real quick. Yeah, so I think the thing with the Nuggets, part of me wants to believe that Doomer mode has taken over post KCP and there is like a way through this. They still have one of the best 4-man units in the NBA. They still have probably the best player individually in the NBA. And it's not like desolate on the bench. You're just hoping for a lot of things to go right that have pretty slim chances. It feels like Strother looked sick in the
Some
preseason.
Strother hype.
Oh my God, Strother, 50% from three. Led the preseason in points. I'm pretty sure after leading the summer league in points, he's coming.
Whoa! What
Yeah,
if he leads the NBA in points?
2 canon events, two things that count for real. So yeah, Strother looks good. Westbrook, it hasn't been horrible in the preseason, but there's just this like thing inside of me that's like every time I get excited about Westbrook this season or about Westbrook playing badly, there's just going to be this little voice in my ear being like, "That is not happening in April. It's not there. It doesn't matter.
Well,
It
this
doesn't."
could be the year, though. I don't know.
Hey man, okay. There's an indefinite.
Once Kawhi gets healthy, and once Westbrook's jump shot could come around.
Hey, yeah, indefinite timelines on both. Could be tomorrow. So yeah,
And indefinite timelines on Westbrook jumper, Kawhi health, and trickle down economics. Any day now, it's going to trickle down.
yeah. I got a drip the other day. I got
God,
paid.
thank you, Jeff Bezos.
Oh my god. Yeah. So big questions. I think Jamal Murray will have all of the opportunity in the world to have a good regular season this year. It's there. If you want to average 26 points per game,
Yeah,
if
we
you want,
chose him over Bones Highland last year, so
hey, and we all know Bones is going to cook. Once Harden's out of the way in Los Angeles, that's why they built the new arena. They got Bones. They're like, oh my god,
oh man,
Intuit Bones Arena. That's what they should call it.
coming to you indefinitely.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm nervous. The Nuggets are going to have to find production through these very uncertain avenues in order to be able to beat a team like OKC or Boston. It would take like a crazy series from like a Strother or a Westbrook or a Christian Brown or whatever. And I just don't know if they have it in them. But even if those things don't work out, I think Jokic is good enough to have him solidly in this tier.
Yeah. Do you have anyone else in this tier? I got 2 more teams in this tier.
I have the Milwaukee Bucks in this tier.
I considered it, but I was like, I
Okay.
don't know. I was like, were they that bad last year that I have to knock them down? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they underachieved, but I think the ceiling, like when we heard about Dame and Giannis getting together, we expected them to be like a Celtics OKC level team, and
Yeah,
instead they're just like they're here.
the
But
burden of expectations.
hey, yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. Giannis was incredible individually last year. Dame going through a divorce. He's sad. He's in Milwaukee. It's hard. He's got a coach that he doesn't like. He didn't work out all summer. He's fat. So now all those things have changed. Doc Rivers has coached a professional basketball team before, which you could not say. You couldn't say that for Adrian Griffin. So,
Well, he coached. I think he coached the Raptors 905 G League champions.
oh, geez. Well, I mean, if the Bucks are firing, well, okay. Doc Rivers coached an NBA championship team. How's that for you, pal?
I mean, kind of. It's mostly Tibbs, mostly KG, mostly Rondo. So
Oh man. But yeah, so they were the 19th defense in the league with Adrian Griffin, and they shot up to 15th with Doc Rivers, which like not a huge improvement, but stepping in the middle of a season and immediately improving your team on like the worst aspect of their game. I think
it's
that's
the
good.
hardest. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy taking this job. This is hell taking this job.
Oh my god. I walk in every day, all eyes are on me. They're only giving me $1 million to do this. It's fucking terrible.
I wouldn't wish this on Hamas.
That's super funny to imagine Zionist Doc Rivers. Yeah.
Do you think he has a take?
I wish if he was just super based, that'd be so sick. I'd come out as like full Doc Rivers supporter. I would not care about his playoff record at that point.
You know who's randomly super based about it? Is Dan Bilzerian. Have you seen?
No, I haven't seen that.
Check his Twitter. He's straight up saying like, "Yeah, you don't get to genocide
Really?
Palestinians for no reason."
Oh,
Like,
you know
base.
what I saw? CM Punk was like that.
Oh yeah, but I don't know about. Has he always been based? I've never been a wrestling guy, so I don't know if it's new for him.
I have no idea. I know people love him. He's like one of the most beloved wrestling guys. So maybe he has always been based.
But yeah, I bet Doc Rivers is. I don't know. I just want to stop the bombing, guys. Both sides.
Both sides.
Who are oh the Bucks? Yeah. So you have Giannis, you have Dame. You just gotta pray. The little we gotta pray medical technology has come far enough to make Chris Middleton's ankle survive. Um
Ankles, both of them.
oh and then who else is on this roster?
Brooke Lopez.
Ah,
They were asking him to do a lot of not 35-year-old center things last year defensively. I'll give him that much. They were asking him to play really far up, and I
well, do you
think
think they ask him and he's like, well, I'm 35-year-old center. What am I supposed? I can't do that. And then they're like, Al Horford's doing it over there.
no,
What a
he's probably like, oh, okay, guys, he has super deep. I'll do whatever you need me to. And so, yeah, I'm sure he's trying his best, but I'm sure if Doc Rivers was like, hey, plant your big ass under the basket and block some fucking shots. Get down. It's just a battle of silly voices in fucking Milwaukee. Dame's the only one that can talk normal. Yeah. I think I think he's better suited to just be like a rim protector at this point. Gary Trent better than Malik Beasley defensively, yes or no?
yeah.
Yeah, hard to be worse.
Hopefully, there's not a clip of him standing still, like doing the Black Beatles in the city.
Well, the thing about Malik Beasley is he would like smack the floor. He'd be like, "I fucking want this," and then just like his guy would walk past him, like no burst, would just like stroll by him with no resistance. And so,
Who
yeah,
who did that? Oh, they might cut Marshawn Beauchamp to get Thanasis. Is that a thing?
something like that. I read they were
Or
interested
trade
in
him?
trading him. Yeah, which like, oh, what a haul you could get for
But
Marshawn Beauchamp.
would they just need a? Would they just get like a second round pick? Is it literally just to free up the roster spot?
I guess.
That's crazy. Who else is on this team? I don't believe AJ Johnson will be a contributor this
What
year.
about Connaughton? He's still here.
Oh yeah, Connaughton is here. So we just we got
Connaughton, Bobby Portis.
okay. So we got some guys. So yeah, tier two. We just gotta. It was just such a bad year. We gotta throw up that year. We gotta be like Wale 90210. To just throw
And
up
she
this year.
throws whatever she eats,
Yeah,
even if she ate the Milwaukee Bucks.
ah
Nice.
yeah.
Um,
Uh I've got two other teams in this tier. You know
God
who?
damn. Who?
The Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, I have the Memphis Grizzlies in a secret third tier.
Ah, sinister third tier. And then I have the Indiana Pacers. I'm Pacers build.
Oh, okay. See, I have the Pacers a tier below. So my next two tiers, because this lines up well actually. The Pacers were the highest team in my full-on third tier. So tier one was Boston and OKC. Tier two was all of the people that we've talked about so far. Tier 2.5 was the Memphis Grizzlies, and then tier three starts with the Indiana Pacers. So what do you want? You want to start Grizzlies?
Yeah.
Okay. Similar to the jaw point guard ranking, where I was like, hey, if it's January and he's like 27-9 on good efficiency and the Grizzlies are fucking rolling, I have no problem bumping him up the point guard rankings list. Similarly, if the Grizzlies are good, if the ED fit is just good right away, if their defense is as good as I think it can be, yeah, they'll be in that second tier, no problem. They could be better than I don't know. I'm not going to start doing like they could be better than the Sixers or whatever. but they would like have serious punching power in that tier.
So we got Ja, we got Jaren, we have Santi Aldama, pretty good.
Sick
Desmond Bain, most underrated player in the league.
all-star.
Brandon Clark will be returning. Zach Edey is huge. Is he the next Wemby? Maybe.
Did you see the cool promo pics they put out?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Pretty sick.
GG Jackson. He wasn't
Youngest
on this
player
team when they were
ever.
good. Yeah,
He
now
wasn't.
Yuki Kawamura. Fun.
Vince Williams.
Vince Williams, Marcus Smart. That's
I think
basically
Vince
Drew
Williams.
Holiday and Derek White.
I'm a little concerned about Smart's body holding up. It didn't feel like he was durable at all in Boston for like the last 3 years, and then last year he plays 20 games. It's a little scary, but I think they'll still be good. I think the floor of this team is like high.
This is a team with a lot of guys who could shoot and a lot of guys who could play defense.
Absolutely. And one of the most insane athletes I've ever seen. A guy who, I mean, the almost dunks of Ja Morant, I know it's a meme. Oh, they're so cool. They're so sick. Everyone go watch them right now.
I thought you meant Zach Edey, the fluidity of the giant, the man who's the fastest guy at the combine in the sprint.
Nice. The only man to ever beat draft nerds. He overcame the odds.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what, not all. There's a website called Swish Theory where this guy Matt. Well, we have Matt Bowers in the Patreon. What is this guy's name? Matt something. I feel like
Powers.
it's not him. I don't think. But yeah,
It's the
this
same guy.
it's Matt Powers with a P. So he had Zach Edey as his number one player. It was controversial. He did a whole write up. So we'll see. Maybe he's right.
I think Edey Edey won to the Hawks. That could still be cool. Edey's just like clearly, if you're not pairing him with like a cool point guard, I don't know if like the number one overall pick is like ideal, but whatever.
Would you pair him with Josh Giddey? Should the Bulls have got him?
Yeah, I would. So I would do this. It's like they haven't patched it yet. I would pair him with Josh Giddey, and then I would cut Giddey. I would cut Giddey, and I'd get him off the team.
But then, wait? But I know what you mean. But explain to the audience, like, how are they paired?
So like I would pair. I would be like, Josh, we're bringing in. You know how you love to pass? We're bringing a guy that you can throw the most dog shit pass imaginable to, and he can still catch it, and you're off the team.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, you're done.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, comment down below about that one.
Yeah, just we'll get your stuff out of your locker. Just you gotta leave now.
Will Zach Edey give Jokic problems?
No. This is the solution. We figured it out.
All right, and then the Pacers all-time offensive engine, and then I'm projecting growth. One more year of Siakam comfort, one more Neesmith. What's his name? Jarris Walker coming in, and healthy Tyrese Halliburton. Could indefinite Tyrese Halliburton health tomorrow could happen. Yeah, I'm Pacers build.
Yeah, I think let me find. So the Pacers were one tier below this. Yeah, I don't even have like a big question with them because it's just like everything's coming back. The question is just like, okay, is Halliburton that guy? And then are you going to be this good the entire time? Because if you're still that good, it's going to be hard to beat Boston. Like they'll need to be better than that to beat Boston, and I don't necessarily know the avenues through which that will happen. But they're good enough to beat
Benedict
everyone else.
Mathurin explosion.
Oh my God, Benedict Mathurin, 32 points per game in the Eastern
Whoa!
Conference Finals. Yeah. He's talking shit to Jaden Ivey, or was it the other way around?
Oh, I think he was. He was being mean to my goat.
And look at that now. He can't even crack the fucking rotation. He
And
can't.
Jaden Ivey is the greatest player of all time in the preseason 2024.
He's the fastest, definitely.
So yeah, they're with these teams with me. I don't know how much noise I expect them to make, but I think they're capable of it. And then so what's your tier 3?
So tier 3 starts with Indiana for me. I called it could get hot at the right time. So if we're going galaxy level, then it'll be what planetary would be tier 2. Then this is like continent level.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay, so this is I'm cool with calling it continent level. This next team I had the Cleveland Cavaliers here.
Oh, okay. I'm a little lower on them. This tier for me is weird. This tier is like my caveman brain tier. This tier for me is teams where they have really good players, and so they're just gonna these are the teams that trick me.
Hey, spoiler alert! He's talking about the Lakers, Suns, and the Warriors. Everyone.
Not the Suns. I'm talking I'm
Okay.
talking I'm talking Lakers, Warriors, Heat.
Oh my god, dude. You are revolting. Hey, it's fine. It's fine. All right, I said Cavs, so let's do Cavs. Let's do Cavs. Let me timestamp. Damn, there's too many timestamps in this bitch. So the Cavs, all right. What's the upside this year? I expect them to be one of the best defenses in the league. Again, I think the Mobley Allen pairing, for as much offensive weirdness as that gives you, very high floor on the defensive end. It's two incredible rim protectors, and it gives you some redundancy if one of them were to go down again. Garland, I'm holding out hope, baby. I'm holding. Ooh, it's possible. It's possible. A jaw injury, losing 15 pounds. I think his mom died as well. Okay, we're back. The Cleveland Cavaliers will be good, and that's why, because of all the stuff that I just said right now.
Um the Cavaliers. Oh, so yeah, I'm just at a point with the Cavs where I think it's not going to work, and they're running it back. So I'm just going to doubt them. I'm just going to be a doubter.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just it's not going to work. Yes,
Wow.
the definition of insanity: doing insane things, and that's what they're doing. I I don't think they're really a contender. I was Cavs pilled to the max.
Is that what this
Uh,
tier is? Is real contenders? I mean, we're like,
no, but I think they have zero chance. But I look over to the Warriors. I see Steph Curry on the roster. I'm like, little 7% chance there, little 4% chance there for the Lakers.
7 is way too much, by the way. 7%? That's a huge amount.
Well, what are the Celtics and Thunder?
Okay, the Celtics and Thunder, I would say, make up probably like 50%.
If they're at 50, all right. If they're at 50, then all right, 2% worse.
Okay, all right. 2 is fine. 6 is or 7. 7 is crazy. All right. I mean, I there's really no rebuttal for that for the Cavs. And I don't even like necessarily believe in them as like real contenders. I just think they have a high floor as a regular season team.
Yeah,
Um, and then I think when you look at other teams that have a high floor as a regular season team, the potential for them in the postseason is more to me than like the Kings or something.
yeah, that's fair. I think, but I would, yeah. When we're going playoff potential, none of these teams will probably do anything. But yeah, I would believe in the Heat over them. I think they would have a better chance at making a real run. I think the Warriors and I think the Lakers would, just by virtue of having superstars and like proven playoff stars on the roster.
Yeah, I guess. I think with the Lakers and the Warriors, it's tough because I think the Heat are worse, but they're in the East, and so
Yeah.
like it balances out. With the Warriors and the Lakers, I don't hate either of these teams. I just think Like for them to get to a point where they're even like really, really pushing like OKC or Boston or that caliber of team, if like Dallas or whoever develops into that, for them to get to that point, it would take a lot. Like,
Shea injury, Luca injury, Jokic
okay, yeah,
injury.
but like if they're healthy, Shea injury, um, it'd be cool. So for the Warriors specifically, what the fuck did I even write down about them? The Warriors, I still expect to be Steph, one of the best players in the league. I am on board with you in terms of like Draymond hasn't really regressed that much defensively. He can't get arrested for assault next year. Like he needs to fucking rein that in a little bit. But level of play wise, he's pretty damn good. And when you look at their season last year, 46 wins with Draymond losing his mind and Kuminga not starting until like late December. That's not like a bumpless road. That's mildly bumpy. It's not the season from hell.
They overcame adversity. They created it, but they overcame it.
Oh my god, Draymond's no one believed in us. Why did no one believe in you? It's because you were fucking foaming at the mouth against Yusuf Nurkic. Yeah, the big questions with them though, for them to be like a real team, do you think like if one of a Podziemski real step forward in terms of on ball creation or Kuminga becoming a real floor spacing threat, if one of those things happen, do you think the Warriors could move up in terms of like these tiers, or would it take both?
I think if we have Kuminga maintenance of what he was doing good last year, and then a leap from Pajemski and some other, and like more Moses Moody, a little tiny leap from Trace Jackson Davis, I think in the aggregate we could be pretty good. Let's say for the threshold, like
The problem,
beating the Grizzlies in a series.
Kuminga would have to be able to shoot because you have to be able to play Trace Jackson Davis. The Grizzlies matchup specifically, Jaren. Oh, they'd be so big with Edie though. Fuck, that would be
Well,
really hard.
I think they just go small with Draymond at center. They just zig. They just go with classic Golden State. We're tiny little guys zipping around everywhere. This is our best chance. We're zipping.
Okay, I mean, good fucking luck with that, I guess. Jeez. Yeah. That in terms of like beating Memphis
Well,
in a series, that would be really hard right now.
well, with the so they would not be able to beat Jokic that way, and like the Lakers would be tough, but like Memphis, like we talked about, Jaren is not exactly the most physically imposing big. Um, I guess it'll depend on how good Edie actually is, but I could see a world where we can live with Draymond guarding Edie.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think they'd also like Ja. I feel like Memphis would guard Golden State a lot more effectively than Golden State would guard Memphis overall, even if Draymond is winning his matchup and being an effective anchor and everything.
We're gonna it's gonna be Smart and Vince Williams double teaming Steph, and then Moses Moody trying to beat Desmond Bain. That won't go well for them.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So Warriors, I'm fine with them being here where it's like it wouldn't take a miracle for them to be a good team. Like this the pieces are there. It's just a lot is up in the air and a lot of the things that they need to happen are not guaranteed in any capacity.
Yeah, and the Steph decline could happen. I'm hoping it won't
Or
happen.
the Draymond decline also. Like
Yeah,
both could happen. It's honestly crazy. Like when the Draymond decline happens, it's not going to be like Steph, where it's like, okay, Steph until he's 50 will be like this shooting threat, and it all kind of depends on like how well he can run around and stuff. Draymond when he falls off, it's going to be nightmarish. Like if he can't be one of the best defenders in the world, like he's going to rapidly be worse than like role players and stuff.
yeah. So yeah, the only reason I don't have the Suns in here is because I think just the lack of depth and the lack of center, of real center, is just too much to overcome. Like, even in my wildest dreams, I can't see him doing anything.
Yeah. All right. So give me the Lakers spiel then.
LeBron, still very
Okay.
good. Anthony Davis is still really good. JJ Redick, my king. The next young Pat Riley. He's gonna have these boys cooking. D'Angelo Russell, good. If he could ever hit 3-pointers in the playoffs, that'd be nice. But he's a good regular season rotation player. Rui is good. Who else do we got in this roster? Austin Reeves is good. Who else do we got? Let me pull up their roster. But they just have dudes. Jared Vanderbilt, JJ Redick's already talking about, like, I have a scheme
A
to
scheme that hides the
maximize
fact that
Jared
he can't
Vanderbilt.
play offense. I have this scheme that I hypnotize the other team into thinking he can at least hit like layups and stuff.
Hey, you can start at center sometimes. Max Christie. I'm a Max Christie believer that he can be he can contribute. Dalton Connect is looking good in preseason. He actually would have been the number 1 pick if he was from Slovenia, and he's definitely a future superstar. It's not it's
American white people are so oppressed.
the 23-year-old guys killing it in preseason. Why do we not draft all 23-year-olds? This is awesome. And then I forget every other 23-year-old that was drafted though.
Drafting in the 70s be like, give me this 26-year-old.
Gabe Vincent, the return. No, but honestly, it's really just comes down to LeBron plus shooters, and then Anthony Davis on defense. Like, could be something.
Yeah, I do think LeBron plus shooters plus like coach kind of emboldening everybody to take like lots of volume threes. It's not the worst idea in the world. Like, we've seen it work before. I'm concerned outlier durability year from both of them last year, where it's like,
well, your bones get stronger as you age. So
no, that's not true. I mean, they're just slamming milk in LA. That's what's going on.
Well, we have different opinions about the structure of bones as aging. We'll agree to disagree. We're both valid in this.
Yeah. It's just different viewpoints. Like, there are different schools of thought on something like this. Yeah. So 70 plus games from LeBron and Anthony Davis last year. If you get 65 out of each of them again, I would consider that a success. And then I do think JJ will be better at like implementing 3-point offense at the bare minimum than Darvin Ham, where it's like, when we talk about like, this guy, he plays like me, I like him. Now JJ's in position to be like, everybody can play like me. It's so easy. Like, this is just shoot the threes out a ton and it'll work. So yeah. Similarly to Golden State, if they're a good team, it's not insane. It's just hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine LeBron holding up for 4 rounds en route to a championship or something, or even holding up for like a deep playoff run. It's hard to imagine D'Angelo Russell playing well in the playoffs. And I mean, beyond that, it just feels like the Lakers, maybe they are like a move away from being a bit more serious. They just don't have any contracts to like bundle up and make moves for. So like, even if they got something done, it would be at the cost of like 3 extremely precious rotation guys. And so maybe that's somewhere where it's like, okay, if Dalton Connect could be a piece right now and you can move on from D'Angelo Russell's salary or whatever, and you could use that to get something done, hey, maybe, who knows? But overall, I don't have a ton of faith in them like giving a second round team in the West a ton of trouble. They wouldn't be an easy out, but they wouldn't be like nightmare series.
Nuggets revenge tour next season. And also remember, these are the defending in-season tournament champions. Do you think they'll defend their crown?
Maybe, or maybe JJ Redick's like, now that he's out of the NBA media, he can be candid. He's like, that doesn't mean shit. Who gives a fuck about that? It's not important at all.
He wouldn't say that. No real ball knower would say that.
Well, you've been brainwashed. That's the thing. It's not real. The real Larry O'Brien is the trophy that matters. But everybody's out here talking, oh, the in-season tournament. It's the biggest deal in the world. That's all anyone cares about. No, it's the end of season tournament.
Well, I just have a question for you. So the Celtics beat the Pacers to get to the finals, right? Was Tyrese Halliburton healthy?
Yeah.
No, not really. Were there doubts about his health
No.
in the media?
Talking about? No, I haven't seen that. We have different.
was Tyrese Halliburton in Steve Nash mode at that point? Was he good at that? Was he in?
I mean, what version of Steve Nash are we talking about here?
Was Tyrese Halliburton in peak form in the playoffs against the Celtics?
We have different opinions on what peak form looks like.
was he no, he wasn't. No,
to justify the in-season tournament.
They beat Tyrese Halliburton at his best. The Celtics didn't.
You're right. Hey, how well was Andrew Nembhard playing in the in-season tournament? Answer me that.
They didn't have Siakam yet, did they?
Hey, I mean, no, actually. Or he might have been. No, they didn't have him. Did they? When did the Siakam trade go through? Whatever. Who gives a shit? The Lakers are the real NBA champions, I guess. Give me the Miami Heat spiel.
It could happen. The Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler can turn it on. He didn't turn it on last year because he had off the court stuff going on. So, Jaime Jaquez, another year. Actually, probably won't get that much better because he was an older rookie. Maybe he will. I don't know. Let me pull up their roster because they're just. Remember, Pat Riley came out swinging in the media. He said, "You idiots need to play more games. Maybe that'll light a fire under them." But so yeah, we got Bam, we got Jimmy. Could be the year Tyler Hero stays healthy. Haywood Highsmith, further away from that car accident, cleaner conscience, he'll be good. Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic another year. Duncan Robinson back. Khalil Ware looks good in the preseason. So really, it's just the irrational Miami Heat devil magic.
Okay. I don't believe any of that. I don't care. If Jimmy Butler's like the third best player on the planet in the playoffs again, so be it. It's fine.
You'll look really stupid now. The people will revisit and say he didn't think Jimmy was the GOAT.
I have the Suns in this tier as well. The only things I had, can KD play 70 plus games again? I don't know. He's pretty old. But the offense looks very different. It looks a lot more 3-point focused. It looks a lot less like he cooks, I cook, do 'em, ISO ball type shit. And I mean, there's something to be said for those kind of hoops. Ball don't stop loves it. And it'll have its moments in the playoffs, I'm sure. But for the overarching grind that is the regular season, I think that style of play is probably a little bit better. Given how many good 3-point shooters they have on the roster. So I'm pretty Suns pilled. It wouldn't surprise me if they were good. Like if you get 65 games out of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, which if you ask someone like 2 years ago, which is more likely that or getting those out of LeBron and AD, they would almost certainly say Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. If you get 65 games out of those guys and the role players play well enough, that's a good team.
Well, who have they added this regular season?
Tyus Jones.
Besides him, what kind of depth are we looking at for these guys?
Okay. Backup center is Mason Plumlee, ass. Starting center is Yusuf Nurkic, ass. Monte Morris, backup point guard, real hooper. Ryan Dunn getting a lot of hype because he could shoot threes now.
It's crazy if he actually makes threes.
Well, that's they got OG Anunoby in a Phoenix uniform, pretty much. That's what I'm hearing. So yeah, Suns.
Grayson Allen, Beal.
Hey, Grayson Allen's great. Grayson Allen was also one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. So I think, I don't know. If they're not good again, fuck it. Who cares? But it didn't feel, it feels like last regular season at least, was closer to the floor of what they could be than it was to the ceiling, if that makes sense.
I'm heat pilled, your sun's pilled. Let's see who burns brighter.
Okay. You know what makes the Heat?
The sun,
Yeah.
I guess.
You are my son.
Wait, hey, what if the heat from the Miami Heat doesn't come from our sun? It comes from a different sun.
Well, I mean, the
I
Phoenix,
guess it's still a sun.
it's
Oh wait.
the Suns, plural.
Oh well. Wait. Okay. The Pelicans don't have a center either.
The Suns have a center. He's just bad.
Yeah. Would you add him to the if you were the Pelicans, you could add him? Would you?
Nurkic?
Yeah.
No, probably not. What do they want for him? Like, what would the Suns
They were
want
just
back?
like take him for free.
Okay, well then, yeah, probably, but it would still. I mean, it doesn't make him a good basketball player just because someone I have no one at his position for, I would take for free. Yeah, 7th best defense last year, 11th best offense. They plan to start Herb Jones at center. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy to start Herb Jones at center. I guess we'll see though. I have no idea.
They have so many guys I like, but I just can't sign on for more optimism until that is addressed. You
Yeah.
cannot do that.
Taking all these guys I like and making a team that is horrifying. Like what? Just like, yeah. And oh my god, could you imagine if they waste like a precious year of prime Zion on this shit? Like it's fine if Zion plays 40 games and it's like, what would a center really done anyways? But like if you get 65 games out of Zion and then like, you get into the postseason, it's like, fuck, if we had a big man, this team might be able to really do something. And it's just Herb. But I don't know. At the deadline, I'm calling up Orlando and I'm like, what do you want for Goga Batadze? Hand him over.
I'm calling up the Bulls. I'm saying give me Vucevic. I'm saying I'll give you all my first round picks for that guy.
Yeah. You're alone in a padded room right now, by the way. You're hallucinating this entire podcast.
One man's crazy man is another man's revolutionary. So yeah, I want to be Pelicans pilled. I want to believe in Zion. They have wings, which are hard to come by, harder to come by than centers. So hopefully they'll do something to bump themselves up. Kings.
Kings. Talk about them. What do you think?
I think they have a hard playoff ceiling because of Sabonis, but I think they'll be a winning regular season team. I like a lot of the guys they have.
It's hilarious that you're like, DeRozan, who cares? He doesn't fuck with the ceiling that much. But playoffs, Sabonis? Oh my god.
Well, honestly, yeah, they're like, hey, even if they win like 58 games, it'll just be like, well, will this continue if your two best players are bad now? Like that's it. Because he wasn't even good with the Bulls in the playoffs. So yeah, I don't believe in Sabonis. I don't believe in DeRozan in the playoffs. I believe in De'Aaron Fox. I believe in 3-and-D wings, Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, and who am I missing? There's someone else I like.
De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk.
Malik Monk, I like him. So yeah, they have dudes, but there's just this is very much a sell tickets season.
Yeah. And I really don't know. I mean, if Sabonis is who you say he is, then the whole, like, will this ever be more than a sell tickets season? I guess if Sabonis is that, like, if he puts that much of a ceiling on this team, first of all, what could you even trade him for? Like if you're going,
what do we trade Westbrook for?
Kyle Kuzma and KCP.
Chris Paul.
Where did in Houston or where?
When was he traded for Chris Paul? Yeah, because Chris Paul went to OKC. He went to Houston.
Oh yeah, OKC made the playoffs. That was sick.
But people did think Chris Paul was washed then.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
He wasn't. He fooled everyone. He came back with his vegan diet.
Yeah. So, what are we talking about now? What team do you have next after the Kings?
Let's say Orlando Magic. Do you feel they're in a similar tier? They're kind of on the come up.
Yeah, I feel similar. I feel like the playoff ceiling is a little murkier, but it doesn't feel like it's super high.
Mm.
Yeah, I like Pablo. They have a lot of guys who I think could take big steps forward. Between so Pablo, obviously Franz, you hope the jump shot comes back. Please, please, Franz, save me, please. Oh my god. Shangoon, not Shangoon. Suggs. I was thinking of an SUG name. Suggs is like a fresh 23, I believe. He's pretty young still. So yeah, all those guys could take a big step forward. The addition of KCP, I wonder what the 3-point volume is going to look like for him because he hasn't taken more than like 5 a game. Well, he's done that once in the past 5 years, and Orlando was like desperate for threes
Yeah.
last year. So maybe he'll just be like bombs away.
Yeah, they didn't do enough to transform their destiny. Like they were one of the best defensive teams in the league. I don't know how much reason there would be to believe that their offense would jump high enough to actually make noise in the playoffs, but I think they'll make the playoffs. So
Yeah, make the playoffs. I wouldn't want to play them in the first round strictly just off physicality. It'd be really
I
taxing.
I don't want to watch them play.
I don't want to watch them play. What, you don't like? You don't like Palo's 70% true shooting against the Cleveland Cavaliers? You're a hater. You're a baseless hater. Get the
He
fuck out of
didn't.
my face.
He didn't fit. Wait, did they put? They only played that one series, right? No, he didn't have that for the series, did he?
No. He had like high 60s.
But yeah, the Magic are a playoff team. I think the Rockets. Well, actually, I don't know if the Rockets are a playoff. So my final tier was just lottery teams, and I felt like the Rockets were above. But I don't know. But I think they would have someone has to underperform, right?
Yeah.
So I have 11 teams that I think are solidified lottery, and then so some people are gonna have to suck.
So you think Atlanta is going to be in the lottery?
Probably, right? Well, actually, I don't know because the conference breakdown.
Yeah, I think Atlanta will be fine because the bottom of the East is so fucking terrible that even if they're like not as good as they can be, it's like, you're getting the Wizards, the Nets, the Hornets, the Pistons once every like 3 nights.
So the Hornets will be bad for sure. The Raptors will be bad. The Wizards will be bad. The Pistons will probably be bad. The Clippers will be bad. Oh God, I'm
Hey,
well.
whoa, I don't know.
Hey, depending on
Hey,
when he comes back.
James Harden. How much high usage ISO ball does James Harden still have in the tank?
I hope not. Well, maybe I don't
I
know.
think he can. I think in the games he plays, he'll be livable.
You think they could avoid the lottery?
Yeah. What does avoiding the lottery look like? Does that mean you have to be like a top 8 seed or what?
Lottery is the 14 worst teams.
Uh, I don't know if they could do that. Then that's tough.
So yeah, so where was I? Oh, the Nets will be bad. The Bulls should be bad, right? The Blazers will be bad. The Jazz will be bad. And then I have Atlanta and the Spurs, but that's 11 teams. So we would need 3 more to fill up the lottery.
Yeah. So the Clippers are probably in there. The Rockets are probably in there. Oh, damn. Who's one more? Who the fuck have we not talked about that I'm missing? The fan of this team is probably freaking out right now. Read your list one more time to me.
Hornets, Raptors, Wizards, Pistons, Clippers, Nets, Bulls, Blazers, Jazz, Hawks, and Spurs. It's 11 teams. So do I need to borrow from the other tier to get to 14?
Yeah.
So Rockets?
Aren't the Rockets already on your list?
Well, yeah, no. Well, with the Rockets, it'd be 12.
Okay, so I think the Rockets will probably be in there. I fucking guess. I think one of the Lakers, Suns, Warriors will be in there.
Okay.
Just like this, I think the odds are too crazy for all three to have like healthy, productive seasons.
Yeah.
And I think whoever has the wheels fall off, it will be like really crazy.
Yeah, it's got to be someone from the West underperforming.
Yeah, because there's just like the East, the bottom is so bad that like mid-level teams are going to be weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, is there any other teams you want to talk? I'll just label this the rest, this timestamp.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about any of these bad guys. They're bad guys, except for the Jazz.
Let me run through. Okay, I got Toronto play-in tournament. Scotty, all NBA team. Nice. Charlotte and Detroit, they're in the East, so I think they could be like East good, but I think they'll still be bad teams. Portland, San Antonio, Utah, I think they're the same tier as Charlotte and Detroit. But they're in the West, so they'll actually suck. It'll be really hard for them. And then the Nets and the Wizards, I think, are like the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah. I wonder. I kind of do you kind of want the Clippers to self-destruct just to see what would happen if Cooper Flag went to OKC?
No, because I want the Nuggets to be good. I like you're just over there like going insane in Chicago. Like, oh, let's just see what happens.
I'm like the Riddler. I'm literally Paul Dano.
Wow. Yeah, that's exactly. You should sing Ave Maria right now.
What was his plan? He wanted to drown Manhattan.
He blew up the seawall, and he was gonna kill the mayor, the mayoral candidate as well. But I don't exactly see how that like affects Gotham's elite.
That's how we'll sink them, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah, then we'll figure it out. This is all low-income housing, Mr. Riddler. We'll sink them, you know? Everybody's got to sink.
They should have made better choices. Less Chipotle.
You smell that? Avocados.
Ah, those bastards.
All right, well, calm little 2 hours. Kind of fell off the rails towards the end there, but what do you expect? You know, we're not here for professionalism. We're here for fun. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Patreon.com/State of the League per usual. The next time you hear from us, it'll be the first regular season episode of the year. So yeah, looking forward to that. Go Nuggets. Fuck everybody else. Everyone else is a loser. Julian Strother, 6th man of the year type shit. Jokic, MVP. Jamal Murray, first All-Star appearance. My beautiful girlfriend just walked in the door. She looks so incredible today. Pau Gasol, take it away.
Lay down a list of what is wrong. Things you told them all along. Pray to God he hears you and pray